G'day folks, and welcome to Tal TV. I'm just going to adjust this and just get it at the right angle. Hold on, it's a little bit off. Okay, perfect. Probably a little bit like that. That's probably better. Okay, so today it's my first video, and this video we're going to talk about watches, but we're not going to talk about a particular watch. What we're going to look at is why wear a watch. And I know this may sound like an obvious thing for a watch wearer, and at the same time for people that don't wear watches who say, oh, my phone, I get the time off my phone. I think this will shed a different light on what a watch actually does. And I think the light will be shed not just on people that don't wear watches, but for people that do wear watches. And so we're going to look at it, and I think you'll be quite surprised by the outcome of why wearing a watch is beneficial for you. So let's just start off basically, and what does a watch do? A watch tells the time. Now, tells the time. In those very words, it already says something special about a watch. A watch talks to you. A watch is giving you information. It's different than reading something and kind of like reading the words and putting the thoughts together. A watch does something very different than that, and it's got to do with the essential basic design of the watch and the symbiotic relationship it develops with this watch wearer. It's a really subtle relationship that develops that that isn't obvious at first glance. And I think anybody who's a habitual watch wearer may kind of not even be aware of the relationship they have with their watch. And people that are starting to be watch wearers, people that have got watches and starting to wear watches, I mean, if you've ever had the experience where you've left the house, you've jumped in the car, you're driving down the road, and you glance at your wrist and your watch isn't on your wrist. And then you realize, ah, shit, I forgot to put my watch on, and you turn around and go back and put your watch on and go and leave. Now, something happened there that is part of that symbiotic relationship. You didn't get into the car and start driving down the street and think, oh, I forgot my watch. You got in the car, you started driving down the street, and you glanced at your wrist and you realized the watch wasn't on your wrist, and you turned around to get your watch. You glanced at your wrist almost subconsciously, and you became aware of the fact that the watch wasn't on there. And this is the essence of that relationship that the watch has with the wearer. It tells the time. It gives you the plot points of the day. So, when you wake up in the morning, you get up, you have a shower, you have a shave, you do whatever you do in the bathroom. Then you brush your teeth, you go and you have breakfast, you get dressed, and off you go. You have breakfast, then you brush your teeth, then off you go to work. And so say it's about 7 o'clock you start, by 8 o'clock you're in the car or on the bus or on the train or in the plane or wherever you are, going to wherever you're going to study or to work or for business or for a holiday or whatever. But this whole process is a process of where you are, what you are doing, and when you are doing it, when you are. And all these things kind of happen without you actually being consciously thinking about, hey, now I'm brushing my teeth, hey, now I'm having breakfast, hey, I'm getting out of bed, hey, I'm in my house, hey, I'm in my car. You're not telling yourself these things. And part of the relationship that the watch develops with the wearer is that it starts to subtly give the wearer information without the wearer even being aware of that information. And the key to that whole process is in the simplistic design of an analog watch. That is the dial and the hour hand and the minute hand. It's a circle with a short line and a long line. And that circle forms a series of shapes that make quick geographic pictures that at first glance will tell you what time you are or where you are or where you're at. So if you look over my shoulder, there's a clock over there, and that clock over there, bang, is 10 past 10. And it shows that really simplistically as 10 past 10 in a picture. And you know, while I'm chatting, you can already picture 10:30, or 10:15, or 10:45, or 11 o'clock. You can picture midnight. You can picture midnight. You can picture 1:45. You can see the short and the long line in that circle, and it automatically sends these pictures. So when you're wearing a watch, and this watch I'm wearing at the moment is a Ball Aero GMT2. It's my favorite watch, but I'm going to swap it. I'm going to pull a different watch out, and a more simple watch. If you just give me a moment, I'm just going to grab. Okay, this is a Gekkoda. Why I've picked this watch is because it doesn't have any numbers on it. It just has straight out, you know, the hands and the circle. And also the way the indices are configured into quarters, it makes it very easy to read. But that watch on a wrist will give the wearer instant little pictures. It will tell you the time. You won't ask at the time. You won't have to read the time. By the sheer simple geometric shape of the circle with the two lines being recognized in patterns that we know, we see the time. And so a watch wearer, a habitual watch wearer, will put their watch on, start their day, and during the course of the day, without really kind of thinking about it, they'll start to glance at their watch and they'll start to know the time without realizing they've done it. And that is the absolute and utter sublime and symbiotic relationship that the wearer develops with the watch. The ability to know when you are without being aware of knowing when you are. Having a sense of time simply because there's a simple contraption on your wrist that essentially is a circle with two lines and that sends you pictures. And in a glance, you know when you are. And for a habitual watch wearer, that starts to happen more often than they realize, and they become aware of not just where they are, what they're doing, where they're going, without having to say to themselves, oh, you know, I'm in a car on the way to the airport, I'm at the airport on the way to a plane. You just, you know, these things you just do naturally. You know, where you're going, you do naturally without, you know, constantly having to tell yourself what you're doing. Or, you know, and the same thing happens with the watch, with the glancing of the watch. And therein lies the beauty and the thing that makes a watch an unreplaceable item. Because even in this modern day of phones and this modern day of smartwatches, and I personally don't like smartwatches because they are not timepieces, they are gimmicky contraptions that have got information and communication capacity that distracts from the prime function of the watch, being a device that tells you when you are. And that is the beauty of a watch. It is sublime. A regular watch wearer will, without being consciously aware of it, start to know when they are. And it just facilitates a better stewardship of the day, a better control of your life, a better grasp in time. Because you get in the habit of just glancing without even realizing, glancing without thinking, bang, getting that picture of what time it is, being told to you. And sometimes it just happens back here. It just goes straight to the back of the head and you just know when you are. In the same way as, say, if you're in a shopping mall, walking down a shopping mall, that you know you're in a shopping mall, you don't have to keep telling yourself you're there. If you're, you know, in the course of looking at something to buy something, you know what you're doing. You don't need to tell yourself there. And in that whole course, so too is that moment, that glance that tells you when you are. And that therein lies the beauty of the wristwatch and why the wristwatch has been an irreplaceable item. And it's something that I don't believe that technology can ever really replace because of that relationship, that simple circle with the two lines that gives you a quick pictures of when you are, and that habit that you will develop as a watch wearer. That subconscious, symbiotic relationship that you develop with the timepiece, where you will, without being aware of it, start glancing at the time and knowing when you are. Without consciousness and having a better grasp of your day, and having a better grasp of the day as you travel through it, as you travel through time. And therein lies the beauty of a watch. And that is why I think wearing a watch is a wonderful thing that everyone should do. That's it. That's my first episode. That's Tal from Tal TV signing off. Have a great day. Over and out.